24. We will see now the design of, we will implement XOR gate and XNOR gate using PMOS pass transistor logic. So far we have seen in the last session NMOS pass transistor logic, but we will see now PMOS pass transistor logic. So let us see what it is about. So we all know XOR gate, that whenever both the inputs are same, that is high or low, your output will be low. Okay, and we also should remember that PMOS pass transistor passes a strong logic 1. Okay, it passes a strong logic 1 and it passes a weak logic 0. Okay, instead of logic 0 it passes VTP, mod of VTP voltage, which is we have seen yesterday. Okay, now let us see how does it work. So over here in this scenario we have used PMOS transistors. You see it, we are using a digital symbol of a PMOS transistor. Fine. So over here A and A bar are my control signals. A and A bar are my control signals. So whenever A is 0, whenever A is logic 0, which transistor will be on? M1 transistor will be on. And whenever M1 transistor is on, it will pass B to the output. Okay, that's why I've written over here A dot B. So over here, whenever A is 0, your output will be Y will be equal to B. Okay, so that means whenever A is 0, here you see A is 0 over here, the output will be equal to B. So Y will be same as B. And whenever A is 1, A is 1 means logic 1 means 1 bar, that is logic 1 bar, that will be 0. So whenever you apply a 0 to the gate of a PMOS, then only it will be turned on. So for A is equal to 1, my M2 PMOS transistor will be on and it will pass B bar to the output. Okay, so that is what I've written over here. When A is 1, Y will be equal to B bar. Fine. So here you see over here, when A is 1, output Y will be equal to B bar. You see over here it is 1, here it is B bar. Output Y will be equal to B bar. It is very well, devised over here. So kindly note it down, note this circuit down in your books. This is XOR gate implementation using PMOS pass transistor logic. Draw this out in your books. It consists of two transistors, two PMOS transistors, M1 and M2. I repeat, whenever A is 0, logic 0, M1 will be on and it will pass B at the output. Whenever A is 1, my M2 will be on and it will pass B bar at the output. I hope that you have noted it down. Now, logically everything seems correct. But when you see the voltages, let's say that the threshold voltage of those PMOS transistor is 0.7. That is VTP is minus 0.7. We have considered mod sign over here. And VDD is 5 volt. Okay. So for same inputs, that is 0, 0 and 5 volt, your output should be logic 0. But you see, remember over here, the limitation of P-pass transistor is it passes weak logic 0. That means instead of passing 0 volt, it's passing around VTP value. So here you see your output will contain a 0.7 volts logic 0. So it's a weak logic 0. And in this case also, whenever both the inputs are same. So these are the, this is the limitation of a PMOS pass transistor logic. Okay, it passes a weak logic 0. Now, similarly, try to implement XNOR gate. Try to implement XNOR gate using PMOS pass transistor logic. I will give you 1 minute. I will give you 1 minute. Try to implement PMOS pass transistor logic. Implement PMOS pass transistor logic. Using implement XNOR gate using PMOS pass transistor logic. So you can have your minute. Think. So what is XNOR? XNOR is Y is equal to AB plus A bar B bar. So you have to just position it carefully. Okay, I'll show you the solution now. So for XNOR, here it is. I have just interchanged A and A bar and I've got this functionality. So let us check it out carefully. Actually, it should be A bar. Wait. Yeah, correct it is. Okay, so this is XNOR gate implementation using PMOS pass transistor logic. So over here, whenever A is 0, my M2 transistor will be on and it will pass B bar. Okay, so whenever A is 0, my M2 transistor is on and output will be passing B bar. So here you can see. Okay, Y is 1, so B bar it is. Y is 0, so B bar. And whenever A is 1, my M logic 1 basically 1 and 0, whenever I say it's logic 1 and logic 0. So whenever M1 transistor, whenever A is logic 1, my M1 transistor is on and it will pass B to the output. Okay, it will pass B to the output. So basically here you can say that, yeah, you see, whenever A is 1 over here, output is passing B as it is, as you can see very clearly from the truth table. Okay, and in terms of voltage levels, we know that XNOR gate will be output will be 1 whenever both the inputs are 0 0 or 1 1, and output will be 0 whenever both the inputs are not same, that is either 0 1 or 1 0. So here it is, logic 0 should be 0 volt, but it is 0.7 volt, because 0.7 volt we have considered to be the threshold voltage of the PMOS transistor. Okay, so that's the limitation of your PMOS pass transistor logic. That's the limitation of PMOS pass transistor logic. I hope that you all are following. Any doubts over here? So you can write in the meeting chat if you have any doubt, you can write it, or else we will move on to the next topic. So let's take a quick 10 seconds biological break. Just close your eyes for 10 seconds and just relax. Let me check if there are some doubts. No doubts. Okay. So now we move on to the next topic. That is the last logic for static logic gates. It is transmission gates. These are called as transmission gates. So basically what are they? We know that there is a limitation of NMOS pass transistor logic, that it cannot pass logic 1, strong logic 1. And we also know that there is a limitation for your PMOS pass transistor logic, that it cannot pass a strong logic 0. So this transmission gate leverage the good properties of NMOS transistor, pass transistor, and PMOS pass transistor. So we know that NMOS pass transistor passes a strong logic 0 and PMOS pass transistor passes a strong logic 1. Okay, so they use both of them together, and they provide a full rail to rail swing. That means your output will be from VDD to 0. Okay, there will be no loss of any swing. And here we use PMOS and NMOS are wired in parallel to form a transmission gate. We will soon see its structure, and it provides an alternate approach to build a static logic circuit. Okay, it provides an alternate approach to build a static logic circuit. So this is the basic structure of a CMOS pass transistor, a CMOS transmission gate. So you have this PMOS transistor and you have this NMOS transistor, which are connected in parallel, as you can see. And PMOS transistor is marked as MP, NMOS transistor is marked as MN. Here we have the input VA in the terms of voltage, and here the output is VB, or Vout we can call it. Okay, in terms of logic we are calling it A, B, and at the gate of PMOS you connect VDD minus Vx, and at the gate of NMOS you connect Vx. So let's say Vx is 5 volt. So your gate of PMOS will be 0 volt automatically, correct? So we are applying the voltages like this. In terms of logic, if this is X, this will be X bar. Okay, I repeat, if you apply Vx as 5 volt, your VDD minus 5 volt, so this will be 0. If you apply Vx as 0, this will be VDD. So at one point of time, your PMOS and NMOS both will be on. The both will be on. So here we have applied X bar and here we have applied X. Here it is VA and here it is VB. Now this is the transmission gate symbol. It is represented by this symbol. So you can see there are two arrow like, one going from left to right, one going from right to left. And here we have drawn over here bubble, indicates it is X bar, complementary. So whatever you have over here, this will be complementary of that. If X bar is over here, this will be X. And this symbol represents that this is a bidirectional device. This is a bidirectional device. Either you can pass the input from left hand side or you can pass the input from right hand side. It will pass in both the directions. Okay, so kindly note this structure down in your books. I'll give you some time, some few seconds, 30 seconds. Note it down in your books. Note the structure down in your books, please. Both the structure, the symbol, as well as the structure, the actual structure. Okay, so it consists of both NMOS and PMOS transistors, and they are connected in parallel. And it provides a full rail-to-rail swing logic. To the gates of the NMOS and PMOS, we are applying a complementary inputs. So if you see carefully the transmission gate symbol, we have A as the input, B as the output, X and X bar as the complementary inputs. Okay, from henceforth, whenever we do any design, we will use this symbol. But in reality, this is the picture. Okay, so when we do it in LT-Spice, you have to do it in this way. Okay, two transistors, NMOS and PMOS, have to be connected in parallel like this. Okay, I hope that you all have drawn this. Now let's look into some properties of it. So your transmission gate consists of NMOS and PMOS connected is into complementary inputs. So transmission gate is designed to act as a voltage control switch, and it is a bidirectional in nature. That means either A can be input and B can be output, or B can be input and A can be output. Okay. So over here, whenever, let me concentrate on this, whenever X is logic 1, whenever X is logic 1, that means Vx, if you have applied as VDD, what will be X bar? X bar will be 0. That means your NMOS transistor is on and also your PMOS transistor is on. Now, whatever will be the value of VA, whether logic 0 or logic 1, it will pass. Because both NMOS and PMOS are on, whether it is logic 0 or logic 1, it will pass it as it is. It will pass it as it is. Okay, so that is the thing which you remember. And so that is what we have written over here. Whenever X is logic 1, both the NMOS and PMOS transistors are on. That means your transmission gate will act as a closed switch. You remember, whenever PMOS is on and NMOS is on, it offers an on-state resistance. So this is the picture I have shown over here. Whenever both NMOS and PMOS are both on, we are representing it by RP and RN. Okay, on-state resistance. So we know that PMOS transistor will pass strong 0, strong 1, logic 1, and NMOS transistor will pass strong logic 0. So whenever this act as a closed switch, whenever your X is logic 1, so X bar will be logic 0, and when both the transistors are on, there is a direct conduction part between the left hand side and the right hand side. That means your input will reach the output as it is. Whether the input is logic 0 or logic 1, it will from logic 0 to logic 1. Okay, and let us see the scenario now. Whenever your X is logic 0, matlab you have applied logic 0 to the NMOS gate and your logic 1 to the PMOS gate. That means both NMOS and PMOS will be off, right? So in this case, your NMOS and PMOS both will be off. So off, how do we represent? We represent by an open circuit. So whenever both NMOS and PMOS will be off, there is no connection or no relationship between VA and VB. Basically, your output will be a high impedance state. Okay, so output will be a high impedance state. So such kind of scenario should be avoided. Okay, such kind of a scenario should be avoided. Okay, so over here, NMOS and PMOS, since they are connected in parallel, we get a full swing from 0 to VDD volts. We get a full swing from 0 to VDD volts. Please remember this. Okay. So now let us see into details about the symbol, transmission gate symbol. So we can represent it like this. When X is 1, when X is 1, your input reaches the output. Your input A reaches the output. It means that X equal to 1 is needed to obtain the bit transfer A to B. Okay, your whatever is your logic at the input will reach the output as it is. That's why the name transmission gate. So this transmission gate symbol, it is clear that your transmission gate is bidirectional. That means the current can flow in either direction. Okay, or else the logic will get transferred from left to right or right to left. Fine. So conduction from one side to the other is controlled by complementary switching signals, and these complementary switching signals should be non-overlapping. Should be non-overlapping. So X and X bar, which you should apply, and yeah, should be complementary in nature. So your bubble indicates that the gate of the bubble indicates the gate of the PMOS transistor in this. So your transmission gate will act as a closed switch when X equal to 1. So whenever X is equal to 1, it acts as a closed switch. Okay, as I've already explained it over here. And when X is equal to 0, the output will be a high impedance state. It will act as an open switch when X equal to 0. So this is the functionality or the operation in short. When X is 1, whatever is A, B, it will pass on to the B. So we can write B is equal to A dot X. We can write it as it is. Okay. So I repeat, whenever X is 1, X is logic 1, your output B will be same as output A. So you can see over here. And whenever X is 0, irrespective of whatever A is logic 1 or logic 0, output will be at a high impedance state. Output will be at the high impedance state. So please remember this fact. Okay. Any doubts so far? So if you all have understood, please raise your hands. If you all have understood this, you can give me an indication by the raising the hands so that I can understand whether you're following or not. Okay, good. Thank you. So this was the brief summary of your transmission gate. Now we will be working with this. Okay. So again, we look at this structure for the one last time before we, proceed ahead. Look at this for the one last time. Okay. So now we proceed now. Now we were going to implement this transmission gate logic. Okay. So the first circuit to implement in the transmission gate logic is the XOR gate. So implement XOR gate using transmission gate logic. So we implement XOR gate using transmission gate logic. So let us begin. Okay. We know how the individual transmission gate symbol works, right? So let us start. XOR gate, as we know, whenever both the inputs are same, then only the output is 0, else the output is 1. So here we are assuming that the supply voltage is plus 5 volt. The supply voltage is plus 5 volt. So let us begin with the working. First, let me explain the working, then you can write it down. So here A and A bar are the two inputs. A and A bar are the two inputs, and B and B bar are the control signals. Remember, A and A bar are the two inputs, and B and B bar are the two outputs. Okay, and we have to get at the output A bar B plus A B bar, which is nothing but the XOR gate. Okay, now here that is what I've written over here. A and A bar are the inputs, B and B bar are the control signals. Now let us let me see if I can use some annotations. No, that feature is not here. That was in Zoom. Anyways, so let me explain it over here. No problem. So whenever we apply B, listen carefully. Whenever B is 0, whenever B control signal B is 0, what is the transmission gate 1 status? Whether it is on or off? Write in the meeting chat whether it is on or off. When B is 0, logic 0, right? Whether the transmission gate 1, I've written over here TG1. So whether it is on or off? On. Yes, perfectly said. Why it is on? Because over here we are applying logic 0, and this is the gate of PMOS. So whenever you apply logic 0 to the PMOS, it is on, and so obviously this also will be on. So this B is logic 0, that means B bar will be logic 1. So your transmission gate 1 will be on, and it will pass whatever it is at the input. It will pass it as it is, A. Okay. So here why I have written A dot B bar? So see over here, A, it will pass A, and this will be B bar. So here it is A dot B bar. Okay, it will pass A dot B bar. Fine. And so what will happen? So whenever B is 0, let us look at the truth table. Whenever B is 0, your output will be passing A. So here it is. B is 0 over here is here. Output is passing A. So here it is. I mean, A is being passed at the output. So this is 0. This is passed over here. This 5 volts, it is passed over here at the output. So that is the meaning of it. Now, whenever B is logic 1, so whenever B is logic 1, my transmission gate 2 is on. Okay, so B bar will be 0 and B is 1. So what will happen? Transmission gate 2 is on and it will pass A bar at the output. It will pass A bar at the output. That means when B is 1, B is logic 1, my output will be A bar. So here it is very, very clearly. And here I have written over here A bar dot B. A bar dot B. Okay. So that's what I am getting over here. Okay, have you understood the functionality? Now let us see that in little more details over here. This is what I've written. This is what I've explained just now. Let me explain it in terms of these diagrams. Okay, so if I want to draw the transistor level implementation, this is transistor level implementation of transmission gates or XOR gate using transmission gate. Okay, the earlier one was symbolic representation. Okay, normally we draw this, but if you want to observe it like this, you can also observe it like this. This is transistor level implementation. So here we have PMOS 1, NMOS 1 consisting of transmission gate 1, PMOS 2 and NMOS 2 consisting of transmission gate 2. We have applied A and A bar as the inputs and B and B bar as the complementary inputs. Now let us see case number 1. Let us observe case number 1 over here. Okay. So case number 1 will say that whenever A and B is 0, 0. So whenever A and B is 0, 0. So whenever B is 0, my PMOS 1 is on and B0 means what? B bar will be 1. So B bar will be 1. That means my NMOS transistor is also on. That means this upper transmission gate is active. Okay. My upper transmission gate is active. Now, whenever we apply B as 0, that means this NMOS 2 is off. Also B bar will be 1. So my PMOS 2 is also off. That means I can say my lower transmission gate, that is transmission gate number 2, will be off. Okay. So whatever I apply at the input doesn't matter. So over here the upper transmission gate is on. That means, and I'm passing logic 0. So where it will go? I know that I think here this line should be from below, because your NMOS transistor passes a strong logic 0. So this yellow color line should be from below, not from above. Okay, so please just correct it. So over here, whenever we apply logic 0 over here, the logic 0 will be transferred via the NMOS transistor, not the PMOS transistor. Okay, so the output will be 0 over here. Okay, so please note that change. Now let us go to case number 2. Yeah, just wait. Just think over it. Okay, so I've already told you what is the mistake over here. The mistake is that the transmission of logic 0 should happen via NMOS 1. Here by mistake I've done it from PMOS 1. Okay, and I think same mistake I've done over here. So whenever B is 0, B bar will be 1, your PMOS 1 will be on, NMOS 1 will be on, and your logic 1 will be transferred to the output via PMOS 1, not NMOS 1. The logic 1 will be transferred via PMOS 1. So please take a note of it. Okay, so output will be logic 1 over here in this case. Let us consider the next case over here. I think everywhere there is the same problem, I guess. Okay, so here by B is 1 and B bar is 0. So whenever B bar is 0, sorry, B is 1, B bar will be 0. So my lower transmission gate will be on. My PMOS 2 will be on, and my NMOS 2 will be on. So and I have 1, A bar ki jagah 1 hai. So logic 1 will be transferred via PMOS transistor, PMOS 2, not NMOS 2. So here again the yellow part is wrong. The logic 1 should be transferred via the PMOS logic, PMOS 2 transistor. So that's how you get a logic 1 over here. Let us check the last case. Everywhere I guess same thing. So whenever your B bar is 0, that means B is 1, your lower transmission gate is on, that means PMOS 2 and NMOS 2 is on. So your 0 is been, input is 0, right? A is 1, so A bar should be 0. So that means your output should also reach 0. Output should also be 0. So that output is input is transferred to the output via NMOS 2. So this yellow color thing, the I have drawn over here should be via NMOS 2. Okay, so please remember it. It should be via NMOS 2. By mistake, I have done it opposite, I guess. Okay, in all the cases. So this is the functionality of your XOR gate. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? You all can give me an indication by raising your hand. Any doubts in this? Okay. Okay, so now you note down the circuit. Note it down in your books. Implement XOR gate using transmission gate logic. Implement XOR gate using transmission gate logic. I will give you 30 seconds to note it down. And now those who have completed XNOR gate. I mean, first wait, let us observe this thing in LT Spice also. Okay, if you are ready. So let me show it to you. So the same circuit, exactly similar circuit, we have done it, try to do it in LT Spice. And I guess this was one of your labs also. So it won't be hard to understand. So here it is. I am showing you this circuit, the circuit which was below. Here, this one. Okay, so here it is B, A, here it is B bar, this is A bar, and this is B. Okay. Remember, you have to generate additionally A bar and B bar from B. So you require two additional CMOS inverters to generate A bar and B bar from A and B. Okay. So take a note of this, that also. So what is the total transistor count over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 4 transistors for implementing the CMOS inverter. Another 4 transistors for implementing the CMOS inverter. Okay. So this is your 2-input XOR gate using transmission gate logic. Let me concentrate on this now. Now let me simulate this and show it to you. So I'll click on simulate, click on run, and I have 3 plane plots. Y3, A, B, and output. So I'll plot VA, then I'll plot VB, and then finally I will plot output, that is V out. So it is XOR gate, right? It is XOR gate, right? So let us check the first case, 0, 0. So for 0, 0, you should get 0, logic 0 at the output. It is correct. Next case is 1 and 0. 1 and 0 should give 1. Yeah. So let us check whether the output is full swing or no. So here you see output is 5 volt and the ground was, when logic 0 was 22.7499 nanovolt. You see over here, it is as good as logic 0 only, 0 volt. So it's giving the full swing. Now let us go to the next case. Next case we have over here AS1 and BS1. So the output will be logic 0. Correct it is. Next case will be 0 and 1. So my output will be logic 1 again. You see correct. You see over here. So 0 and 1 will give you logic 1. Next case will be 0 and 0. The output will be logic 0. Next case will be 1 and 0. The output will be logic 1. So in this way, you can proceed and check all the cases. It's perfectly behaving as a two input XOR gate. So this is the implementation of a two input XOR gate using transmission gate logic. Okay, using transmission gate logic. Fine. Now let us implement. I'll give you the task of implementing XNOR gate now. So this was the implementation of XOR gate. Now please implement XNOR gate. Please implement XOR gate. I'll give you 1 minute for it. XNOR gate using transmission gate logic. Implement XOR gate using transmission gate logic. So see how will be the logic. Apply your concept over here. See what is being passed and what is ahead. So what will change? There will be a minor change in this. That's it. There won't be a major change. So I'll show it to you now. So remember, the total transistor count is 4 plus 4. So total 8 transistors are required. And additionally, always a practice. Whenever there are A bar and B bar or C bar inputs there, always it's a good practice to draw the CMOS inverter and keep it. So that we draw the entire transistor level implementation of any logic style. Whenever there are A bar and B bar, always have a good practice of drawing the CMOS inverter to it, because we require it. Because we generate this bar terms from your A and B only. A bar and B bar is generated from A and B only. Okay. So this is the XNOR gate implementation using transmission gate logic. So what has changed? I have just interchanged A and A bar. I have just interchanged A and A bar. That's it. Entire thing is same. Okay. So this is the implementation of XNOR gate. So yeah, very simple explanation. Whenever B is 0, logic 0, my upper transmission gate is on and it will pass A bar to the output. So B is 0, it will pass A bar to the output. And whenever B is 1, my lower transmission gate is on and it will pass A to the output. So whenever B is 1, it will pass A to the output. So that's a simplest implementation of XNOR gate using transmission gate logic. Okay. And here also I have drawn the, let me show it to you fully. Here also the CMOS inverters are drawn to show that the complementary inputs are generated from the input. B bar and A bar are generated from B and A. And total transistor count over here is 4 plus 4. Okay. So I've just interchanged A and A bar and I've got this scenario. Okay. Fine with this? I hope that you all have drawn this circuit, implemented an XNOR gate using transmission gate logic. So please give an indication whether I should proceed or anything you want to ask. Just write in your meeting chat. If you're fine with it, please write that. I'll wait for your response. Everything okay? Everything going fine? Any doubts so far? Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. Now, write this another implementation. Implement NAND gate using transmission gate logic. Now we are implementing NAND gate using transmission gate logic. So over here, again the B and B bar, see the structure will remain the same if you notice. To implement the universal gates or the XNOR and XOR gate, the structure will remain the same. Only the input will change. Here logic 1 and A bar are the inputs. Here logic 1 and A bar are the inputs and B bar are the control inputs, which will control the on and off operation of the transmission gate. Okay. So over here, NAND gate we know A dot B the whole bar. Okay. So whenever the input is 1 and 1, that is 5 and 5 volt, then only the output will be 0. Else it will be 1, logic 1. So let us see this working. So whenever B is 0, logic 0, my transmission gate number 1 is active, on. So it will pass logic 1 at the output. So whenever B is 0 over here, B is 0 over here, it will pass logic 1. So it is passing logic 1 very clearly. Whenever B is 1, so B is 1 means what? My lower transmission gate is on and it will pass A bar at the output. So whenever B is 1 over here, B is 1 5 volt, E is 1 5 volt over here, it will pass A bar. So see A bar, it's being passed at the output. So that's the simple functionality of your NAND gate. We have implemented a NAND gate using transmission gate logic. So kindly note the circuit down. Kindly note it down. I'll give you around 20 seconds more. Okay, I hope that you all have noted it down. Okay, so always, if you're implementing this, also try to build up the CMOS inverter. You know, you have to generate A bar and B bar, right? So that can be generated from your A and B inputs. So always have a good practice of writing the truth table also, and especially the voltages. Okay, so what does it indicate? That indicates that there is no loss of any swing. You get full 5 volts and full 0 volts with using transmission gate. Okay, but what is the limitation? Limitation is that the transistor count is increasing. So here to implement a NAND gate, you require 8 transistors. Okay, which you could have done it using 4 transistors or less than that using pass transistor logic. So here is the working written over here in short. So whenever any logic gate implementation is asked and you are supposed to explain that, so and it is for higher marks, then you have to explain the everything. Whatever I was saying, that when B is logic 1, your transmission gate is on, it passes A bar to the output. That way you have to explain. If just the implementation is asked for very low marks, okay, for not so high marks, then you have to directly implement this, or you can write the truth table also. Fine. So the transistor count over here is 4 plus 4, that is 8. Now I'm giving you one thing to implement. Implement NOR gate. Implement NOR gate using transmission gate logic. So come on, I'll give you 1 minute. Implement NOR gate using transmission gate logic. I'll give you 1 minute. Implement transmission gate logic. Implement NOR gate using transmission gate logic. So think what you will do. You have to use this transmission gate symbol. So if you have completed, please you can take a print screen and attach it in the meeting chat. I'll give you another minute. Just think. Try this on your own. It's very easy. Implement NOR gate using transmission gate logic. So do it on a piece of paper. If you think if it works, upload that in the meeting chat. Upload that image in the meeting chat. That's the way you will learn. It's very simple actually, this. Okay. So those who have done it, kindly attach the image. Take a print screen and attach the image so that I can, you can be sure. I'll wait for another 30 seconds. The question is, implement NOR gate, 2-input NOR gate using transmission gate logic. Implement 2-input NOR gate using transmission gate logic. The structure will remain the same, almost the same. Only thing is, where will you apply? Chalo, I'll give you a hint. Even the B bar and B and B bar also position will remain the same. They will be controlling the transmission gates. The inputs, what input you will apply, you have to think. Okay, fine. No problem. If you have done in your books, please check. I'm showing you the, okay, fine. One of the students have done it. Yes, yes, it's absolutely correct. Correct, Meet. So let me show you now. This is the implementation. XNOR gate implementation. Very good, Meet. You have done it absolutely correct. So implement NOR gate using transmission gate logic. So over here the inputs will be A bar, and here the at the another input will be logic 0. So let's see quickly how does it work. Whenever B is 0, transmission gate number 1 will be on and it will pass A bar at the output. Okay. So let's check the truth table. When B is 0, it will pass A bar at the output. It is correct. And whenever B is 1, transmission gate 2 will be on and it will pass logic 0 at the output. Whenever B is 1, it is passing logic 0 at the output. So it's perfectly correct, absolutely correct. And also you should draw the CMOS inverter to generate B bar and A bar. And what's the total transistor count in this? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, one transmission gate requires 2 transistors. So you have 2 transmission gates. So total 4, and total 4 over here for implementing the CMOS inverter. So your total transistor count is 4 plus 4. That is 8 transistors you require. And this is the short explanation, whatever I was talking about just now. Okay. You don't get confused why I've written Y over here. Y just means that the output of transmission gate. Okay. Y just means the output of the transmission gates. Fine. So let us proceed forward. Let us go back to our last PDF for the day, and then we will conclude. Now this is the implementation of OR gate. Slightly different. Implement OR gate using transmission gate logic. Now I will not tell you to do it on your own. I will just explain it to you. So here the input A and A bar are used to control. Remember carefully. Listen carefully. A and A bar are used to control the PMOS pass transistor and transmission gate. So here is a special case where you have used PMOS pass transistor and transmission gate together. Okay. So how does it work? Whenever A is 0, whenever A is 0, A is 0 means what? A bar will be 1. That means my PMOS transistor is off. A is 0 means what? The transmission gate is on. So whenever transmission gate is on, it will pass B at the output. Okay, for A equal to 0. So A is 0, it will pass B at the output. So A is 0 over here and 0 over here. It will pass B at the output, as you can see very carefully in the truth table. Now, whenever A is 1, my transmission gate will be off. Why it will be off? Because you are applying if you are applying A as 1. So A1 means what? A bar will be 0. So over here transmission gate will be off. And my PMOS transistor will be on because I have applied AS1, so A bar will be 0. So my PMOS transistor will be on and it will pass A at the output. Okay, so it will pass A. So that means whenever A is 1, A bar will be 0. So here you will say कि PMOS क्यों use किया है? Why we have used PMOS pass transistor? See, PMOS pass transistor is passing strong 0. And whenever you are applying AS1, that means A bar as logic 0, this PMOS transistor is on, and PMOS transistor is supposed to pass a strong logic 1. Okay, and AS1 over here, so it is passing strong logic 1. We don't have to worry about whether A will pass strong logic 0 or no, because that condition never arises, because this PMOS transistor will be on whenever A is 1. Okay, that means A bar is 0, so that is applied to the gate and it will pass A is 1, logic 1, so it will pass logic 1 perfectly. Okay, so I repeat, whenever A is 1, my output will be high, that is 5 volts. Okay, it will pass 5 volts. Your PMOS transistor will be on. So note this down, or you can take a print screen to save the time. Okay, so let me move on to the next one. Let us implement a Boolean expression. So let me implement A dot C bar plus BC. A dot C bar plus BC using transmission gate. So use the same structure. Now here I have used C and C bar. Here I have used C and C bar as the complementary inputs. I have used C and C bar as the complementary inputs. So let us see the first case. Whenever C is 0, Whenever C is 0, my lower transmission gate will be on and it will pass A at the output. Okay, that's why I've written over here A dot C bar. Fine. And whenever my C is 1, my upper transmission gate will be on and it will pass B at the output. So here hence at the output I've written over here B dot C. And if you add them together, you get this expression, Boolean expression. So that's just simple implementation of your Boolean expression using transmission gate. Okay, using transmission gate. So the advantage over here is you use complementary inputs and you get a full swing output. You get a full swing output. What's the transistor count over here? 4 transistors over here and 2 for the C bar. You implement C bar from C. So you implement using CMOS inverter. So the total transistor count over here is 6. Okay. So I hope that you have noted this down. Then there is one more. You can take a print screen. Anyways, I am going to share this PDF so you can refer that. There is one more. I am giving this as an assignment. I mean, you can take it on your own and try to implement this on your own. I will give you this, I will share this PDF with you, but you try to implement without looking at the PDF. You have to implement F is equal to AB plus A bar C bar plus A B bar C using transmission gate logic. Okay. So you implement this with using transmission gate logic on your own. Fine. So that's it for today's lecture. I have completed transmission gate logic. And next time we will start with the some compact circuits for XOR and XNOR gate.